Square Table Degenerates Podcast.
My name's Pat. I'm a bachelor, single man of the group. Love pop culture.
And flat earthers don't believe that. But even there, from their point of view, if you ask them to look out the window, it's going to be flat. It's not going to be no ball. So that's what I'm saying. Somewhere along
how are you a flat earther if you believe that the space
I believe
station
in science. I believe in actual science.
Well, I told my daughter that if in the event of a school shooting, what she needs to do is find a fat person and hide behind them.
Wait up. I am actually losing weight, believe it or not, because I'm pretty much not eating.
Hey, this is William Tong, and you to the Square Degenerate Podcast.
Smoke weed every day.
Welcome back, everybody, to STD Podcast. Whoa, shit. Don't need the intro going twice there. Sorry about muting down there. He was yapping during the intro. All right, go ahead, buddy. Don, we're live, man.
Is it only us two to start this bitch, man?
Yeah, everybody else is dead. Coronavirus, man. Wait, I can't say that. You cannot say that on the air. That word. What's up? STD or no, the CV.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think because I'm on my Wi-Fi.
Don
I'm not
actually
even on Wi-Fi. I think I come on my 4G.
Welcome. It's Friday. It's 9:30. It's time to party. I'm your excellent host, Joe, with here on a fucking awesome Friday. It's been raining all fucking day. This week's been kind of meh for everybody. This is week 19 of the lockdown. We're doing our 90s special show tonight. The only effort that got put into the show was my effort because everybody else is kind of just not pulling their weight and doing show prep, if I'm being honest with you. Pat is showing up a little bit late. Tom, home remodeling is more important than the show, apparently. I don't know. Everybody's just not pulling their weight like I think. What do you think, Don?
Well, I think what it is the shit's all opening up, man. So, people are like, well, hold up a minute. Let's go do what we want to do. But I'm sitting here with one of my closest friends from the 90s, man.
You got your.
I came to his house to have a beer before I actually go to the bar tonight. So,
you got your probation officer with you there today? How'd you figure that one out?
Nah, not my probation officer. That motherfucker's been on probation more than me. I'm an angel.
You're an angel. If you're an angel, I'm a fucking devil. Oh, wait, we got 2 live viewers. If you are out there, whoa, what happened to Don? Don just left us. All right, if you are out there and you want to comment, please feel free to comment. Now, the Welcome to the 90s show, obviously. I interviewed earlier this week a Mr. Elwood Edwards. Now, he is he's the only person to do the AOL chat sound from the 90s. So let me air that interview with you guys right now. Don's coming back. All right, Don, I'm about to air the interview, so I'm going to put everybody on mute, and we're going to listen to the interview real quick. It's about says 7 minutes or so, so we're going to play this real quick, and then we'll go from there. This is L. Edwards he's an AOL guy from the 90s, so bear with me here. You're going on mute, and I'm going to go on mute too.
Sure.
All right. Hi, everybody. We're here with the Square Table Degenerates Podcast, and we're joined by Mr. L. Edwards. Now, you may be asking yourself, who is L. Edwards? We're about to get into that here in a moment. Now, Mr. Edwards, how you doing today?
I'm well. How are you, Joe?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Now, tell us a little bit about where you grew up and your background prior to the thing you're most famous for. Where'd you grow up, and how'd you come about?
Okay. I grew up in New Bern, North Carolina, which is where I am now. I worked in television starting right after high school graduation, and I was in radio while I was in high school. But I've been a staff announcer most of the stations I've worked at, and I've enjoyed a pretty good career. I was in Washington, D.C., Houston, Texas, Cleveland, Ohio, Akron, Ohio. Now I'm back here in New Bern.
Okay. So that's good. Now, what Mr. Edwards is most famous for, and a lot of you guys might know this, he's famous for the AOL chat sounds of the 1980s or 1990s. When did that start officially?
I recorded the AOL phrases in 1989.
1989. Okay, that was actually one of my questions. Now, how did you record it back then? How did you actually do that?
I did it in my living room on a battery-operated cassette deck.
So you just had a regular cassette player with the old. Wow! And how did they get? Now at the time were you approached by somebody from AOL? Like did Steve Gates come up to you and say, "Hey, can you record these for me?" Or how did you even get on their radar?
My wife was a customer service rep at the company that became AOL. And she and I met in 86, I believe, on Commodore 64 computers.
Oh, nice.
The company that she worked for was called Quantum Computer Services, and the online service was called Q-Link. She and I met in a Christian chat room, and we became friends, and more than in 88, we were married.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. And we're no longer married, unfortunately.
Condolences.
Thank you. But on that cassette deck, I recorded, "Welcome, you've got mail. Files done. Goodbye."
Those are all the ones. Now, later on in there, you had "You've Got Pictures" too. Did you do that? Was that you, or did they just compilate that somewhere else?
That was me.
Okay. Now, what year was "You Got Pictures"? Do you remember that? I know barely anybody remembers that.
I would say probably 92 or 93.
Oh, wow. That was earlier than I thought. Because I remember I had it in 97. And I only used it like once or twice. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, you used to be able to take your pictures up to like the CVS, or back then it was Refco or whatever, Walgreens, stuff like that. And you could check off a box saying, "I wanted to get this sent to my email box." Because back then nobody had computer scanners. So they would send it to you. And once you get the email, you can just click on it. And then your voice will come up and say, "You've got pictures."
Exactly.
Now, did you, at the time when AOL was coming out, did you have AOL? Did you go into the chat rooms at all?
Yes, I did. And I still have AOL.
Okay. I still got I still have my same one from 19, gosh. Because when I first got AOL in 95 when I was out of high school, and I joined the service and I came back a little bit, but my last chat room name, I used to get them banned all the time because I was horrible in chat rooms. Back then, whatever Facebook jail is today was chat rooms banning back then. I used to have to change your screen name and all that, but my your God Joe at AOL.com. Yeah, I've had that since at least 97. So it's going back to even before that Jordan documentary we just saw. Now
I'm still voice pro at AOL.com.
Oh, nice. So now when you were in the chat rooms, did it say in your, like, when you click on your profile, did it say that you were the guy? Did people ever notice that?
A few did, but nobody really made a big deal about it.
Okay. Now, did you ever? Now, I got to ask the proverbial question. Was there any back then payments or residuals or anything for? I mean, it would be minuscule upon minuscule, but was there any kind of monetary compensation for you?
Let's just say I'm not going to retire, but I still have a great relationship with AOL.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. Now, the drop. Did you do the drop? No. Or was that
no, that's not me.
Oh, that'd have been cool there. That'd have been awesome. Now, so we got welcome. You've got, do them all again. Let's see. You got welcome.
Welcome. You've got mail. Files done. Goodbye.
That's awesome. Now, did you? This is just a thing I was noticing about other people, of your ilk. Have you checked into like Cameo and all that? Some of these people would, maybe you could just do some. Hi, this is Zell Edwards. You've got mail or whatever for somebody's birthday or something like that.
I've looked at doing that, but AOL, for one thing, owns my voice saying the phrases.
Oh, okay.
They tried to copyright it, but I believe it was ruled to be too generic, and that was not successful on their part. But I'm open to do anything.
Okay. Now, did you ever get to? This is a random question, but the movie You've Got Mail. Have you ever gotten to meet any of the actors in that? Was there anything that the movie did with you or no?
Well, AOL flew Karen and me to New York for the East Coast premiere of that
Mayo Clinic, a common viral infection that can.
Sorry about that.
Technology. But they flew us to New York for the East Coast premiere. And I saw Tom Hanks from about 150 feet away. He was surrounded by bodyguards. And I saw the back of Meg Ryan's head when she was getting into her limo. So there's my touch with greatness.
Nice. Now, what do you do currently? What do you, I mean, that was 20, 30 years ago, and you appear to be a little bit older than me. You're getting close to retirement there? You still doing something? Or?
Well, I'm still in television. I've been on TV now for 54 years.
Oh, wow.
And I'm a video editor and also do playback of graphics and server playbacks during the newscasts.
Okay, that's a good deal. Well, before we go, could you say this is L. Edwards? You're listening to the Square Table Degenerates podcast. Goodbye.
What's the name of it again? I'm sorry.
The Square Table Degenerates podcast.
Okay, I'm L. Edwards, and you're listening to. I forgot it again.
All right, the Square Table Degenerates podcast.
I'm L. Edwards, and you're listening to the Square Table Degenerates podcast.
Goodbye. Outstanding. Well, thank you for joining us today, sir. All right, we're back on the show. Let me get rid of that here. That was the L. Edwards. How you guys may be wondering how the fuck did I figure out who that guy was? Well, I was trying to think of cool 90s subjects, and I just randomly Googled that guy, and he responded to my IM and said he'd be happy to be on the show. So I ended up interviewing him. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it's not like he has a whole bunch of stuff to say, but he's rolling with it. So, what's up, buddy?
Stop muting my fucking mic.
Well, I had to mute you on the guy I was interviewing.
Unmute me. I got things to say too. There's only two of us on the show tonight. One of us has got to be entertaining, and that's me.
The interview just fucking ended, dumbass. Like literally a couple seconds.
Here's what I was gonna say. We need an outro now for the show, and at the very end, we play that with that guy doing that.
Oh, for sure. That's the plan. That's why I had him say that shit. I'm game with that.
That is fucking great.
Hell yeah.
Great interview, by the way.
It was pretty cool. Like the I mean, I've looked on stuff on him. I mean, I couldn't find anything. I mean, there was an article like from 2015 on the guy. He said he was an Uber driver. I didn't even ask him about that, but I mean, RJ said he did some local TV here in Cleveland at KYC that I forgot to ask him about, but he even said in the intro there that he did some Cleveland shit, so that was kind of cool. So what was your week, man?
Definitely worked.
What's that, buddy?
I have been trying to lay low, man. I've been drinking a lot of moonshine, but I've been trying to lay low and behave myself.
I feel you.
Trying not to be so debaucherous and so out there.
Oh, I got sound effects now, dude. Check this out. Like I could be like, Don walked into a bar. The Square Table Degenerates is filmed before a live studio audience.
Hey, play the wah 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 sound.
Oh, we got enough sound effects to make it entertaining for the rest of the show. It's like I don't give up.
Dude wanted to hear it. Yeah, that one we need a lot because I cuss a lot.
Let's go over all the ones. These are all the sound loads since we're waiting for Pat to get here to talk about the Jordan stuff real quick. Well, let's go over some of the sound effects I got. I won't even intro them. We'll just hear them here. And then here's me waiting for everybody to fucking come on the show. Go! Here's everybody's life on the show.
Go!
And then,
not everybody's life. My life is pretty good.
here's your life.
You're a
Jimmy wants to hear this one.
Pretty much.
All right, we're not gonna do this too long because we only got 2 fucking viewers today. Like it's a shitty day to do a show. My favorite. I like these ones right here. You can act like the fucking phone's ringing.
Nobody has had either of them ringers since 1997.
What's that?
The only people I know that have them ringers are the people begging for change on off ramps.
Right. Well, the thing I thought was interesting about the L. Edwards, though, going back to the interview real quick, is that was 1989. He recorded those sounds on a tape recorder, and it didn't get played. I mean, I didn't have AOL till like 1995, maybe 96, something like that. It was late 95. And I kind of was curious as to what he got paid, or if he got paid anything. If I was to guess, it was probably 10 grand a year, some random retainer or something like that, where he could just fucking get some money.
Where they can hold the rights to it, right?
Right, because you're not gonna let it. I mean, when you think about it, anybody could do that fucking sound. I mean, any dumbass can go, "You've got mail." So I mean, they probably just like, okay, we'll do this, and you take it or leave it, and you like it like that, and then that's it. But now we were gonna do, prior to everybody kind of skating on us, I tried to get a hold of Hernan. He didn't even answer me. But we were gonna do a coronavirus pool. I'm like, I can't say that word. They're gonna edit it. But now how this was gonna work?
What is the coronavirus pool?
Well, everybody was gonna put in $10. All right, and the first person.
All right, I'm in.
First person to get the coronavirus, winner take all, gets the pot.
So the object is to get the coronavirus.
No, it's a joke pool.
I'm like giving money away because I'm literally. Never mind. I'm not going to expose too much on that one. I'm going to leave that one alone. But yeah, I think I'm immune to it.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
If anybody should have gotten it, it should have been me. That's all I'll say.
I mean, it's like this, dude. I mean, we go out every day and we go swim in rivers and we go fucking breathe on people and do whatever. And all the shit I've done, all the shit you've done. I mean, it's highly unlikely we're gonna get this thing. Now, people say, oh, you can't say that. Then a week later, you're gonna say you had it and then you're gonna die. No, I'm pretty confident that I'm not gonna die from the virus going around right now. But I mean, whatever. Shame what you want. People breathe with masks on, and then they doesn't like it, and their asthmatic tendencies get knocked up and shit. I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. I mean, you could shame people and wear masks.
Dude, I've probably shared blunts with dudes who've had more diseases than the coronavirus. In all honesty, probably deadlier ones. I'm probably sitting across the room from a dude who's had more deadly viruses than the coronavirus.
Well, it's like this too. If why aren't homeless people dying in record numbers? Why aren't fucking mailmen dying? Why aren't the FedEx guys, Amazon warehouse? Sure, there's a couple people here or there, but for all the money they spent to shut down all this bullshit, all the other stuff, it's just not. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Come on, man. Where we're at now is where we should have been at from the beginning. Tell these businesses social distance, practice it. We can't have everything open like it was, but that's it. Don't just shut down everything willy-nilly for 2 months and expect people to fucking make do.
Yeah, man. But even at the bar, they're like, oh, well, you got to stay 6 feet away from somebody unless you live with them. Like, most of these motherfuckers that I hang around have been to my house and have spent nights at my house. Therefore, if they had it, I would have had it by now.
Well, it's like there's two people who don't have the coronavirus hanging out, and they're not going to give anybody the coronavirus. I mean, it's just bottom line.
Right.
And also, too, if you're asymptomatic to something, do you really have something? I mean, if I go, I'm asymptomatic fucking of the AIDS virus or asymptomatic of, I mean, whatever. Do you really have that thing? I mean, what the fuck?
So who's our two viewers, man?
I don't know. We got 3 now. I can't tell.
All right, we're climbing. Dude, why is our number so low tonight?
It's hot. I think people are just depressed and just annoyed with life, man. I don't know.
I think everything's opening up, so a lot of people are out, too. Like, the bars are jumping tonight, I've heard.
I'll tell you what, man. I saw a lot of, Pat's in the house. Oh, shit. Here we go. Hold on. Pat's backstage. Pat, welcome. Welcome, everybody, to Pat.
Hi, everybody.
In the house.
Patty B, what's up?
What's going on, Don? What's going on, Joe? How you guys doing tonight?
Doing, man.
I'm good. Hey, I'm going to bounce off because I got to drive across town real quick. I'll join you all in a bit, though.
What are you doing? Where are you going, motherfucker?
I am going to pick up Katie, and I'm going to the bar.
Oh, okay. You can't do that after the show?
And then my name is Don, and I'm going over here to get.
You can't do that after the podcast? I'm going to the bar after the podcast. Come on.
My name's Don, and I'm going to go get me up with some guys.
Where's your dedication? Where's your dedication?
Well, Don,
we can do this all day.
Huh?
What did you do? Why'd you
I know how to unmute myself.
You went to, I heard you were going to Club Twist. Is that true or not?
Absolutely not.
You some kind of homophobe? What's wrong with you, man? Come on. What's wrong with Club Twist?
Absolutely not. Hey, if you want to be gay, do your thing. I have nothing against that. I happen to love lesbians.
I'll tell you a funny story about a gay bar once. There's this gay bar over by Dennis's house, right? And man, we were there, and I had to use a can, right? I had to drop a deuce. And man, the line for the bathroom, like I'm not going
Now
to
we're
the
talking
gay.
about shit in the gay bars.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm
All
not
right,
using
bro,
fucking.
I'm out.
It's like this, man. I'm not
I
using the
will.
fucking. I'm not
Get
using
your
the
head
gay.
back in the game, man.
I'm not using the
Okay.
bar for the.
Focus. Okay, you're telling a story. Focus on the story.
Yeah, I'm not using the fucking shitter in the guy shitter in the gay bar. So I had somebody block off the women's bathroom, and I just took a crap in the women's bathroom at the gay bar. That's the way to do it. Like, why am I gonna wait? That was a line. I'm gonna fucking wait 15 minutes in line. Like, it's a boring ass line. Fuck that shit.
What a
All right,
ribbon.
Donnie, you out of here, buddy? Oh, he muted himself.
Bye,
Are you
Don.
gone? Are you gone? He
I
muted.
ain't going nowhere. I'm just gonna mute my mic while I drive.
Oh.
All right, I got you, brother. All right.
Okay, so what's on the agenda? We doing
I'll join in though when I can.
All right, I'm gonna put you on. I'm just gonna put me and Pat on the big screen though, okay?
Ooh, big time. Where's
Just leave it like that. So if I want to join in, I can.
All right, well, we'll mute yourself though, so we can talk.
where's
So I'm not hearing fucking bing, 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 bing,
Hey.
bing. What's up?
Hey, where's Tom at?
Tom hurt his pussy putting on tiles on the floor. From what I heard, I don't know. I can't confirm that. I just heard that he said that his
Did he tell you he wasn't coming on tonight, or is he a no show or what?
Yeah, he said he said he wasn't coming. He said he had a vaginal thing that was acting up.
I saw Dennis and Mayo, confirmed.
I think it might just be us. Might be us three because I think everybody else is just dinking, man.
All right, so let's talk 90s.
All right, for sure. All right, here I got a little outline here. So
we can get into some. Since it's just us, we can get into some Last Dance as well.
Fuck yes, that's what I was going to talk about. And we're going to do tonight. Oh, we got comments. Shit, hold on. I didn't see the comments. My bad on the comments, guys. All right, RJ, I'm not a viewer. Where's Tom? Do they even crap in the military? Sorry, I forgot these comments were out of. Okay, RJ, do we crap in the military? Yes, we do. But Tom does not have a yeast infection. He just has an issue with his vagina, I guess. I don't know, man. I mean, we do the show Friday. You get a yeast infection. I guess he does have a yeast infection. You get one Friday, it happens. Oh, mad love to Tom, though. He's one of the most energetic guys on the show. But, if you're not here, you get teased, man. That's how it is. It's what guys do, But
it's not fair. They're not here to defend it, though.
No. All you got to do is sit there and press the button, man.
Right.
It's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
But look at Don driving with the fucking background. This is ridiculous. He's going to get pulled over live in the air. This is great.
He's an idiot.
All right. So Pat, we're going to get some the culmination of the Jordan Doc review. We'll get into some who's better, LeBron or Jordan, and we'll go into the reasons and we'll list some of that. But now, what episodes did you see of the Jordan Doc? Did you see all of them? Did you see some of them? What?
I saw. I basically saw the whole thing except I was in and out of the last two episodes because I had something else going on. But I saw a little bit of so I didn't see the entire one to have an entire opinion on the entire series, but I saw the majority of it.
Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there was a documentary filmed, over a period. It was like 500 some hours of film, filmed over a period of the whole year of the last year of Jordan being with the Bulls in 1997, 1998. They called it The Last Dance because it's the last time Jordan, Pippen, and Phil Jackson, and Ron Harper, and Rodman, and everybody were together for the Bulls run.
97-98 season.
Correct. Now, the Bulls were supposed to air this documentary in July of this year, but obviously the current crisis and all the other bullshit. We'll get to the poison pizza in Utah for sure. I got a very strong opinion on that.
Oh yeah. I heard about bullshit. That. Yeah.
But so it was filmed. It was filmed over a period of so long, and then they edited it, and some of it, I think the 9 and 10, you could kind of tell were a little truncated in terms of the editing because they really kind of abruptly ended it. But it started out, episode 1, it started out what I thought was one of the most ridiculous things about episode 1 was he threw the entire 1984-85 Chicago Bulls team under the bus when he was like, everybody in the room was doing cocaine and hanging out and with hookers and shit. Mm-hmm. It's like, that would just...
And I wasn't part of that, yeah.
Yeah, of course you weren't part of it, MJ,
Yeah,
we know you ain't getting hookers or anything.
Yeah, he pretty much made himself squeaky clean. Everybody else was in it except him. That's why I got out of it too.
And that was also and obviously it started, back when he was drafted and show how he was growing up. Now, what I thought was cool about Jordan growing up through high school, Luke Longley did get screwed during the interview in there. They really didn't touch on Longley at all, as RJ said.
Didn't.
But yeah, so in high school, what I like in high school, he got cut from his team, cut from the basketball team. Now, if you consider what LeBron came up, by the time LeBron was a sophomore in high school, he was on the cover of Slam magazine. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, national interviews. He was already called the chosen one. People knew he was going to be the first pick the second he came out. The hype train was real. He had national games on ESPN. I mean, it was insane. You know what I mean? Jordan came up. He didn't make his team that was a freshman, maybe even sophomore year, worked his way up, through Laney High School and where was that, Virginia, North Carolina, or whatever. And
North Carolina.
He kind of just became more of a, it's like he had talent, but he worked so hard on the talent to get him where he went, to North Carolina and beyond.
Right.
Now, when what is your opinion on Krause in this whole thing, Pat? Did you watch enough to form an opinion?
Yeah,
I think you had before.
I think they made Krause look like the villain of this, and I don't think they gave him a fair shake. And the fact that he passed away some time ago, and the way they're talking about him, and he's been dead for years, and I think he got a raw deal. I mean, he pretty much put that team together. He's like single-handedly. You know what I mean? I mean, he put that team together. He with the draft picks, and I mean, he did some shady shit. Talking about Phil Jackson won't be the coach after this season, no matter what happens. He said that early on. I thought that was
right. No, yeah. I don't care if you go 82-0, you're not coming back this year.
Yeah, and just the fact that he put it out there, and the season didn't even start yet, basically, or was just early on in the season, and he's saying that was a little shady, and the fact that.
Good.
I was gonna say, and the fact that he's saying, and Jordan says he's not coming back if Jackson's not back, and he's just like, we'll continue. We continue without him. We'll be fine without him. They never won a championship again, but still, I mean, I don't know. It was, he's a little shady, but at the same time, I think they, kind of got a raw deal the way they talked about him.
I think that Krause doesn't get credit, and I mean, there's a couple things in play that Krause got blamed for, but he just played the thing at the time. The Scottie Pippen contract. I mean, Scottie was just he got fair market value at the time, and people were like, oh, bitch, he's 132nd paid. He didn't have to sign that contract. He could have moved on. He could have said whatever. MJ called it. You know what I mean?
I think he created. I mean, I think Krause did create a lot of drama too. But I think, with like the Tony Kukoc thing during the Olympics, how they were going to make a statement against Kukoc. You know what I'm talking about? Jordan Pippen was going to make a statement because he was riding high on, Kukoc. What do you say is going to be like the face, and I don't know. He's going to be the face of the new face of the franchise or something like that. Yeah, it was
like episode 4. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about with that part, Jerry Krause was really high on Tony Kukoc coming over from Croatia, I think. Okay, Google. Yeah. Where's Tony Kukoc from?
Croatia.
I think it's Croatia, right?
It is.
Born in Split, Croatia.
Split, Croatia. But, that sounds like a fucking awesome band.
But there was a lot of was a lot of dysfunction going on there, and a lot had to do with Krause. But I think Jordan Pippen especially kind of added to the dysfunction about attacking Krause through Kukoc, for example. And just like shit like that, not instead of like talking it out like adults, and I don't know. It was both sides I think were wrong.
Yeah, and Kukoc in episode 4, I think it was episode 4. Well, he was playing for the Croatia team. It was right when they were touching on the Dream Team, and Croatia and the United States was playing Croatia, and Kukoc was just getting introduced by Jerry Krause, and Jordan told. I mean, this was all new news in a documentary, of course, but Jordan told Pippen and everybody, go hard on Kukoc, make him pay for this, because he was coming to the Bulls, and Jordan basically didn't want to be replaced, and it was trying to send a message, etc. And Jordan, went off supposedly and treated him like shit. And that's the kind of thing I didn't like about Jordan. I mean, obviously he's pompous. You got to be pompous to get to that level. But Don's back, and let me add Don back. But you get to that level, and it's like, you can mute yourself, Don, if you're still driving, buddy. But we were, and it's like, I think he was just so much of a dick in motivating his teammates the way he did it. That it's just, I didn't like that style about Jordan.
I mean, belittling them and just talking shit to them, and punching Steve Kerr in the face.
Right, like, you got to earn my respect, Steve Kerr. Fuck you, Michael Jordan. Yeah, I mean, get out of here with your stupid shit. It's and RJ wanted to talk about the pizza story. Now, the last couple episodes. Oh, rest in peace, Jerry Sloan. By the way, he's a jazz coach from then. And it's kind of fucking horrible that he actually died this week or right now. And that documentary just came out. I mean, it's like, somebody just aired a fucking your ex-wife's wedding or your wedding tape or something. It's like your ex-wife got married and fucking you just had to watch tape and then you just died. I mean, it's not the best way to go there. But the supposed flu game against the Jazz in the 98 playoffs, he for those who don't remember, Jordan went off and scored like 63 points and they won that game. In the documentary, Jordan claimed that he was delivered a foul pizza by 5 guys who came up and looked menacing. Now, the next day on one of the local shows out of Utah, this guy came up and said he was the man who delivered the pizza. Said it was just him and another guy, and Jordan ordered a large, extra tasty, thin, crispy from Pizza Hut, and that's what got him sick. And okay, first off, bullshit. We would have known about that 22 years later. Secondly, pizza the night before, I was like me eating pizza now and saying it's going to get me sick at 7 o'clock tomorrow. So that's furthermore bullshit. And thirdly, you just don't get sick like that from eating pizza. Everybody else would got sick eating too. No, you just don't poison pizzas. This isn't fucking Gattaca or some movie, some shit. It doesn't happen. Like, come on. Jordan just wanted a fucking excuse. He got a little bit fucking drunk that night or did the cocaine that he said he wasn't doing in episode 1 and it fucking had the hangover or whatever. Yeah, I mean, boring. But so it's like stop with the righteous stuff. And another thing I didn't like too is the timing on this. Now, Jordan knew that LeBron is getting to that point where it's either, who's the best, Jordan or LeBron? And Jordan's like, okay, let me remind everybody how awesome I am. So let me release this documentary. And that's what he did. And now all of us are supposed to think that, Jordan's the best ever. So
go ahead.
All right, so let's get to the heart of the matter and talk about that. Talk about the elephant in the room. Who is the best ever? Now, if obviously some people wouldn't put Jordan or LeBron up there, but I mean, I would say the consensus mostly is, we're up to 6 now. The consensus is mostly it's LeBron or Jordan. Now, the things LeBron has done, he took the Cavs to a title. No other person has ever done that. And we're being honest, no other person will probably ever do that again.
Probably not. Oh,
Don's back. LeBron also went right out of high school and pretty much changed the NBA. What other things LeBron does that Jordan hasn't done? I mean, he's been to nine finals. Jordan only went to 6.
He won championships with 2 different teams.
Yeah, that's true.
He was successful with multiple teams.
That's true. I mean, think about it. He took 3 different teams, and more than likely a 4th.
Of course, Jordan
twice in the Heat to 4 different titles.
Of course, Jordan was more loyal to the Bulls. Otherwise, he probably would have left.
Yeah, that's the thing. The things Jordan did that LeBron didn't do. Jordan won a dunk contest. LeBron never even participated in a dunk contest.
Correct.
Jordan quit sports in the prime of his career to play another sport, which LeBron conveniently said he wanted to play football in 2011, but now it's fucking come to light. And LeBron and Jordan also, he's never lost in the finals. So if you're breaking it down, man, who would you say is better in your opinion, Jordan or LeBron, or is it incomplete yet because Jordan or LeBron's not done?
Here's my take on it. Both their styles are different. Their playing styles are a little different. Whereas Jordan needed the ball to be successful. He did not like passing it that much. he needed the ball to be successful, and he was clutch, and he knew it. So I get it. LeBron, he's also clutch, but he also, was more well-rounded, wanted to get his team involved. So that's where I have a problem trying to say who's different. Now, a better comparison for both those would be comparing LeBron to Magic Johnson, because both their style of playing was similar. Magic was a point guard, so he passed a lot and whatnot. And then Kobe, I would compare Jordan more to Kobe, because they played the same position. Plus, they both needed the ball to be successful. So that's where I have problem personally, comparing who's better, MJ or LeBron, because both different styles of playing, and I can compare them to different players, as I just said.
One thing LeBron did that Jordan never did was LeBron always had to go out and recruit people. And he always had to say, come play with me, come play with me, come play with me. Because
correct.
He tried doing it himself, and he just couldn't get the job done because he wouldn't commit to contracts. He wouldn't, and part of that was, Gordon Gunn in the beginning. But once Dan Gilbert was here with that Dan Gilbert money, if he would have stayed here in 2011 or 2010 when he made the decision, he'd have won a couple more championships with Cleveland. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
But by then you would have had people come over. And that straight shortened season in 2012 when he beat the Heat, or the Heat beat whoever, he would have won that shit with the Cavs. Yeah. And I think the thing that, in the end, the killer instinct to me is what probably right now gives the edge all time to Jordan over LeBron. Because if you think about it, and granted, LeBron has been to 9 finals, okay, but it was obviously a lot watered down, more league, etc. But also, too, we got to look at the finals LeBron did win. He won a finals. The Kyrie Irving, miracle shot, won it for him.
So here's another thing.
Ray Allen, miracle shot, won it for him. And the only other title he won was a strike shortened season in 2012. You know what I mean?
But see, here's another thing. 2 different eras of NBA. Back in Jordan's day, it was all about the competition. Like Larry Bird didn't want to play with Magic. Karl Malone didn't want to play with Jordan. All the best players, Charles Barkley, Jordan, Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, they wanted to play against each other. Magic and Bird never wanted to play with each other. It's different than this NBA, with LeBron, like you said, recruiting everybody, and then eventually going off and play with his best friend, Dwayne Wade. It's different. The players of this era, they want to play with their friends. It's like it's the competition really isn't. There's still competition, but when all the best players are playing on one team, it just doesn't seem fair. So it was like different era, different eras.
Now going back to Shaq and Kobe, who would you rate higher in that group, Shaq or Kobe?
I probably Shaq, maybe.
I put Shaq. I know because people like dividing it, wings and guards and then fucking big men. But I gotta put Shaq damn near 3. It's kind of hard to not. Some people put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at 3, Kobe at 3. I've heard Bird at 3. Some people go back and put Wilt, maybe Oscar Robinson.
I have a hard time picking my best putting a top 10 of the best players, because I've never seen half these people. I've never seen Wilt Chamberlain play. I've never seen Kareem. Well, I was a little kid when Kareem retired. I've never seen Bill Russell play. You know what I mean? So how can I say, it's more of I make a list of the best players I've seen in my lifetime.
Well, also too, if you got back then, you had regionals. Championships were won in places like Syracuse and fucking Fort Wayne, and Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game was in Hershey, Pennsylvania. There's no footage of this game. Who were the people playing in this game? For all we could have known, it could have been like an old Negro League game where somebody's like, "Oh, this guy had 8 home runs in a game." Who was keeping score? There's no record of this. You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of, and also it's the Jim Brown effect too. Like Jim Brown was playing. He was 6'3", 240. The linemen back then were 260 pounds. You know what I mean? You're just bowling them over. Jim Brown against today's linemen, that's a whole different ball of wax. You know what I mean? Wilt, you put Wilt Wilt was just 7'2" and just dunked all the time. You put Wilt in today's lineup, he's going to get killed in the prim.
Sorry, it's gonna be dark for 1 second. I'm looking for something. Yeah, but you know what I mean. Would you personally pick players if you're picking like a top 10? Would you pick players you've never seen play? I mean,
it's more people. Everybody's for baseball, for example. Everybody always picks Babe Ruth. I mean, I've never seen Babe Ruth play.
Yeah.
I never will, obviously. So I mean, in the end, it kind of really is kind of silly to really have the list because it is two totally different games. I mean, and also too in the 80s, what they touched on in the first couple documentaries of the Jordan or first couple episodes of that documentary is that the NBA was really kind of tanking until Jordan came along. I mean, people forget back then, man, the Cavs were just complete shit. They showed the NBA Finals on tape delay. I don't remember that, like 82, 83 before Jordan and them came along. They would literally like, you know how I had just had that previously recorded interview. They would do that with the NBA Finals. Think about that today. I mean, it's fucking insane and how much popularity David Stern and them brought into the league. So they wanted Jordan to succeed in a way, you know what I mean? And they kind of wanted that for the next one with LeBron. But I mean, with LeBron, he's just so all over the place, and it's hard for him to compete at that final moment. Like he's so good at getting to that apex right there. Like you remember that 07 series when he got to that Pistons quarter when he
my God, he won that game single-handedly.
25 points in one quarter and beat that.
I'll never forget that game as long as I live. I watched that game.
I remember that. I was in Honduras when that game happened. That was probably one of the best games I've ever seen by a basketball player. But then he gets to the finals, and granted, you know, he was tired against San Antonio, but that wasn't even a contest.
He was only 22 years old, and that's another thing you can say, like, you know, like LeBron probably had more fame at such a younger age than Jordan, but of course he didn't go to college, so you know, there's always, you know, moving parts and pieces. You know, that's why for me it's hard to say who's better.
I think what LeBron's going to end up doing is stick around until his boy comes up in the league, and people say, "Oh, is he going to get drafted?" I mean, there's no way he doesn't get drafted. I mean,
LeBron. And I don't know if LeBron was only 22. Did I mention that when at that game?
Yeah.
He was only 22 years old. But that's why I brought that up. But yeah. Oh yeah, that's why I heard that he wants to wait. So did you ever answer the question? Who do you think is better, like personally, LeBron or Kobe?
Technically, I mean, as of right now, LeBron or Kobe, LeBron. But I mean, for LeBron,
LeBron or LeBron. Excuse me. LeBron or Jordan.
For LeBron and MJ right now, I give the edge to Jordan because of the, you know, the killer instinct fact and the fact that, you know, LeBron's finals that he did win were that. But I mean, it's still incomplete though, because you still got LeBron still has several good years in him. He can still pass them up. You know what I mean? If LeBron, I mean, this year's kind of whatever with the virus and the shutdown, and God knows where they're going to play. But I mean, if he comes out next year, I mean, just fucking kills it. I mean, he could fucking move up there.
They're just both outstanding players, but in different ways, you know.
And I think LeBron's career moves is probably going to be a thing that people think on him. Yeah, you know, Jordan just stayed in one thing, dictated his own way before it was even a thing. And, you know, won it. But a lot of things people always bring up with LeBron too is like, oh, the Cavs sucked after he left. Well, that was kind of by design because after LeBron left, the Cavs were kind of in tank mode because we had no idea what to do, so they just cut everybody. I mean, if you look at the 09-10 Cavs roster. And then flash forward to the 2010-2011 roster. I mean, we had rookie Kyrie Irving and rookie. Actually, 2010, 2011, we didn't even have Kyrie Irving. That was the year we didn't have a draft pick.
Yeah, 2011 is correct. 2011 was when Kyrie.
Yeah, we got Kyrie in June 2011, and 11-12 was when we had. So that was even before we started doing good. And we had back-to-back picks. I mean, of course we're going to do that. And look at some of the picks we had. Remember, he had fucking Anthony Bennett with the first overall pick. I mean,
Anthony Bennett.
Beat that guy at a game of fucking horse.
I think what is it? It's either that one. I think that year they could draft. I think Giannis was in that draft that they drafted.
They could have had Giannis and Klay Thompson. Think about that. Giannis, Thompson, and fucking LeBron all on the same team when LeBron come back.
Well, no, Klay Thompson I think was in the 2011 draft when they drafted Kyrie.
No, Klay Thompson was the same draft as Kyrie Irving. I remember he's out of Wisconsin, and also that year too, or soon around that time, we're gonna talk about 90. Yeah, this is 90 stuff. Well, I guess this is 2000 stuff.
We'll get to the 90s.
They said that they could have the Warriors wanted fucking Irving, and they were going to trade Kyrie and Thompson for Irving. Man, can you imagine that? Jesus, that'd have killed. All right, so let's get into some more 90s stuff here. Now, for this show, we're gonna have to throw some people under the bus here. not people we know, but celebs. I am the bunch of celebs that I thought would be on the show and be a good time. You know, a lot of wrestlers and stuff. I heard from a couple of guys that might be on the show in a couple of weeks. You know, it was you know, the scheduling issues, shit like that. But the wrestler Jacques Rougeau, do you know who that is?
No, I don't really follow wrestling. I mean, I know like the old school.
He's the Mountie, that
wrestlers.
shock stick and went shock stick.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest wrestling fan, so a lot of these.
He messaged me back and says, you know, can you do you pay money? I said, you know, what do you want? And he said, I don't know. And I said, well, what about $30? This guy has been relative for 20, 30 years. He said, I don't know, goodbye, or whatever the fuck. And I said, well, what do you want? What do you charge? He wouldn't fucking answer me. So Jacques Rougeau, you know, we're missing you, buddy. You could have been on this show. You know, you blew your chance, man. You could have these 4 viewers that are watching us right now.
It's not like we're Howard Stern. Nobody knows who we are.
Because nobody else wants to be on the fucking show, guys who are out there regularly on the show. Now, Pat, I had a whole bunch of questions lined up for everybody who's going to be on the show, but we'll just have to make fun. We'll just have to improvise. Here's what we'll do. The guys who are normally on the show, we're going to answer for them. How about that?
Okay.
So this was going to be a high school segment. We're going to talk about high school. Now I'll do you first, and then we'll go through everybody else in the cast, and we'll make fun.
Are we going to do like a pop culture aspect of this?
Yeah, there's questions in here about pop culture.
Okay.
All right. So first off, here's how I'll do it. I'll ask you the questions and I'll say the same thing what I was doing around that time.
Okay.
And then you can do the same for me. And then we'll do the same for all the other guys. All right. So what year did you graduate high school?
1999.
1999. Okay. What high school did you graduate from?
Lyric. I don't know how personal I should be.
It doesn't matter. Nobody's fucking listening. Just go.
I went to a Catholic school in the Cleveland area.
You went to EC. We just heard it, buddy.
Yeah.
We used to play those guys. All right.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Who was your best friend in high school?
I had a few. Probably my best friend. Dude named Tim.
All right. Are you still friends with him? Do you still know him?
Through Facebook mainly, but we haven't kept in touch in a while.
Did he move?
No, it was just how it goes. You just kind of fall out of touch, and cell phones weren't really relevant back then.
Did you have a cell phone back then?
No, I didn't. No, I did not. No.
Did you have a pager? What did you have? What was your thing?
I had a computer. I did the AIM. Chat room, all that shit.
With the guy L. Edwards, you just said you've got mail. See?
Yeah.
All coming together. Right?
The little yellow man, correct.
Right, if you go on AOL to this day, his voice is still on there, which is insane. What kind of car did you have when you graduated high school?
I had a 1990 Pontiac Sunbird was my very first car. I love that car. I miss that
1990 Pontiac Sunbird.
Yes, sir.
What does it even look like? Pontiac Sunbird.
I had a maroon. I don't know. You can Google it. It was maroon. Had a spoiler.
Let's take a look here.
I don't know. It's standard. It was a 2-door.
1990 Pontiac Sunbird. Wow. So we're just going to assume that you got all the ladies at EC with this car because that is pimp.
Oh,
shit.
The bottom. Bring up the bottom right. This
one?
No, there's like a maroon one. The first page. The second column. No. Go to the left. The first column. The second or the first. Not the black part. The white part.
This one.
Okay, so how there's 2 columns. Okay, the bottom one where there's 3 cars, the bottom right one.
This one.
That one.
Wow. What made you choose this car?
That was I don't remember what happened. I remember getting used from I think our family mechanic, I want to say.
I better get out of this before we start bidding on it.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
I ain't bidding buying a fucking Sunbird.
They don't make those anymore.
I think the car I didn't have, they didn't make anymore either here. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see here. Let's get back to the questions. All right, what were your plans back then, your senior year?
I remember I did did you do that when you were a senior? You showed like the career you wanted to do, and you went to. So I thought for some reason I'm glad I didn't do this, but I wanted to be a social worker. I thought I'd, because I was a people person, I thought I could help people. So I shadowed that, and in retrospect, I'm kind of glad I didn't follow that path. And not to say it's all about the money, but the money, it's not a high-paying job. And then you're going into, like some areas, some, certain, let's just say certain demographics, you're going into. They're not that
Well, you go into the hood, and sometimes
appealing.
Well,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
come to the office
you
if you're a
because it's
social
like
worker.
because you get cases handed to you, and you get certain people of a certain demographic that you need to check up on, and you have to go to their house sometimes. And I don't know, I just looking back, I'm kind of glad I didn't go
Well,
in that
social
direction.
work doesn't pay anything, for one. I mean, master's degrees in social work. I know people getting like 40 grand a year, which is bullshit for a master's degree. Secondly, you don't want to go into somebody's house where they got fleas and lice jumping all over the place, and then you get that shit in your back, and you got lice in your back here. You don't even need that shit. I feel you. That's a good decision, man. No problem with that. All right, obviously you didn't follow through with those plans, so obviously, don't worry about that. Now, what was your favorite class back in high school?
English. I love reading. Oh yeah.
Okay. Did
Yeah.
you
I love reading.
Now you guys took the standard Ohio stuff. Did you have a favorite era of literature or anything in class?
A favorite what?
Well, like literature. Did you like the British section, like the Shakespeare shit? Did you like the American stories? What
I
kind of?
I like a lot of the remember I wasn't a big fan of Shakespeare. Remember you ever read the Canterbury Tales?
Oh yeah,
I was talking about Geoffrey Chaucer. Yeah. I think I was with was that the Grundle, the monsters? Is that or is that something different?
Yeah, it was,
Beowulf. I'm thinking of Beowulf. Yeah, like the Canterbury Tales and Beowulf. I was kind of into that. I like.
Now, if you drive down,
I'm a big fantasy guy. So
if you drive down Columbia, going that way, I'm pointing fucking west from my house on Maple Ridge. But if you drive down Columbia, there's a bunch of streets named after the Canterbury Tales. There's like Chaucer Drive, and then all the streets in that one development are all medieval names and shit.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
All right, now the next question: ass or titties? Back in high school,
man, that's a hard one. Oh, man.
Big ass guy. I think I was more of a titties guy. When I started, like freshman year, I was more of an ass guy, and then by the time I grew to be a senior, I got to appreciate more of the boobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right. Now it says 80% of adults say that high school was the best period of their life.
What's you have to do with 90s?
Well, no, would you say that's true for you in the 90s? Was that high school the best period of your life?
Yeah. Looking back, it was some of the, especially like junior, senior year, especially.
What was your favorite song from your senior year in 1990? In 1999 is your senior year. What would you say some of your? I mean, it doesn't have to be one. With some
anything. Songs? I don't know. Anything Smashing Pumpkins was like was one of my favorite bands, which I still like. I got into when I was like a sophomore, like 15 years old, sophomore high school. So I'd say like Tonight was one of my favorite songs.
That was more of a 95 song, though, I would say. It was off of Melancholy.
Yeah. I'm just saying from my high school. Like, I can't really think of anything specifically from 99, because that's when music started getting really shitty, in my opinion.
Well, 99 is when Eminem came out. Limp Bizkit was on the scene. I if I was thinking 99 songs, fucking Limp Bizkit, Faith.
My name is, I remember, like, yeah. No, Faith, no, I didn't like Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit sucks, man.
Limp Bizkit's a pretty good band, I would say.
No, it's not. It's a terrible band.
Dude, Faith. Behind Blue Eyes.
Oh, those are all covers first of all.
Those are phenomenal songs, man. I would say Limp Bizkit is probably one of my top 10 favorite bands. Maybe the.
No, I mean, you got to bang. I mean, he banged Britney Spears. I mean, that was cool, but other than that, screw that.
Fred Durst is pretty pimp-like, I think I would say.
I never got into Limp Bizkit at all.
All right, well, thinking back to 99 too. What was your favorite movie of 99?
I remember The Matrix came out.
That was pretty good for 99.
Actually, 99, you go back, 99 is actually one of the best years in movies. Like,
I would agree. I mean, I would agree with that because I graduated in 95, but 98, 99, you have American History X, you got.
No, that was 98.
That's what I say, 98, 99, that period. American
okay.
History X, Fight Club, Big Lebowski. I mean, those are
Saving
pretty
Private
much.
Ryan.
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan. Those
There's
pretty
something
much.
about Mary, American Beauty. Yeah.
American Beauty. That's a good one. All right.
Good movies that came out those 2 years. Yeah, I agree.
Who was your, did you have a senior year crush at all?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I have a few.
Well, obviously
Right.
nothing happened there. That was the next
No.
question. What happened with that? I'm like, you're not.
I
wearing
was awkward. I was the typical awkward, dude.
I was kind of too. It kind of ridiculous.
Couldn't get laid this time in my life,
What was your style back then? Stoner, preppy, washout. What was you?
I really didn't have a style, but the group that I hung out with mainly was the stoner crowd. Even though I wasn't a stoner, but I always they accepted me for who I am. They thought I was funny, so maybe because they were always stoned. I don't know, but yeah, I always hung out with the stoners.
Now thinking back, has your style changed since then? Are you the same person from high school? What would you say?
Oh man, I think I grew up a little bit, but mainly I think a lot of my mannerisms and my idiosyncrasies are about the same. I think I pretty much have the same like humor and personality. I think that I did back then, but I mean I matured a little bit. I like to think,
All right, would you do anything different? Would you do it again?
Maybe not. Maybe my senior year. I'll have fun my senior year, maybe that year, but probably not the whole high school.
All right, I'm going to do all these. Now, let me do some of these for me, and let me do these for me here. All right, now I graduated in 1995 from Central Catholic. That back then we had two campuses. We had Scranton and Foreman. And man, back then we used to drink a lot of beer during the school day. Man.
Scranton, hold on. What's Scranton? Those the name of cities?
No, those were the campus. What they call the campuses. The Scranton campus, they call it, goes off of Scranton Road, and it was over. It's St. Michael's Church, if you know where that's at.
No.
And then the Foreman campus is over by St. Stan's out in Slavic Village. Now, so right around 2002, 2003 or so, they closed the Scranton campus, so everything was consolidated to Foreman on the east side over there.
I never knew there was two campuses.
Originally, that school had 4 campuses, and then they've whittled down over the years. One caught on fire many years ago, etc. But when we had cool with senior year, we could drive back and forth to the campuses. So, like in the morning, I could bring a beer into, drink a beer on the way to school, on the way from Foreman to Scranton. I could drink another beer, on the way over there, and then on the way home, I could drink another beer. So I could just drink beer a lot during the day. I mean? So it was kind of cool with the 2 campus system. Okay. Now, I graduated in 95, like I said. My best friend back then was 95 was Hernan. I mean, and obviously everybody who watches the podcast know Hernan's been on the show. I mean, I'm still pretty good friends with Hernan. We met in 91, which was in the 90s, and we went in freshman football. He's not watching right now because he told me he was going to watch.
No, he never does.
But he said he was going to watch it. Then he said, "Here, I'll read the message here." He wrote, "Sorry, buddy, I fell asleep. My back's been killing me for the past 2 days."
Oh boy.
Well, I'll translate that. I'm a giant wuss, and I have a big pussy, and I'm a homosexual. But yeah, back then, so what happened was we were getting into it was freshman football practice, okay, and we both played freshman football. It was the summer before, or we were freshmen. Everybody got together, we played football practice before the school year started, and Hernan was actually this was the first time I met him or like knew who he was. It was a couple weeks into the season actually, because it was during the practice, and Hernan was academically ineligible because he went to the slow trailer because he has a learning disability. He doesn't want people knowing that. But he was either that or he had a fucking bum ankle. It was some real pussy bullshit why he didn't want to play football. But anyways, he kept coming over to me while we were stretching, and he would we had these water bottles, these long hoses, right? And he would squirt the water bottle in my ear. As I said, "Quit fucking doing it." And he did it again. I said, "Quit fucking doing it." And he did it one more time. And I said, "I told you not to fucking do that." So I got up and I slammed him to the ground hard as fuck. And he got murdered. And the coach was like, Coach Hughley. I don't know if he's still around. Derek Hughley is his name. He's like, hey, Hernan, Cortez, what's going on over there with that buddy? And I was like, Coach, I kept dumping water in my thing, so I had to show him what's up. He said, all right, Cortez, you get back in the bus. And Verrell, you get back in line. And so I went back to stretching, and then Hernan went back in the bus, and that was it, man. Ever since then, like I've had this established dominance in the relationship, and he just can't get over it since then, man. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he, likes to think that he's done stuff over the years, but I mean, in the end, it's, I'm the alpha. Now back then, my car was senior year. I actually had two cars. I had a 1991 Ford Aerostar and a 1988 Dodge Omni. Now, the 1991 Ford Aerostar was pretty awesome because that was a legendary green van, and we used to roll that fucker everywhere, man. And by the time I was a senior, that thing was so trashed because we just got drunk and fucking, did whatever, that the door wouldn't even close. Like you know how you got the sliding doors on the side? That door was so fucked up. We used to have to bungee cord rope it to the side because it was so fucked up.
I want to say it was 1990, and my parents got a Ford Aerostar minivan. We used to take that on. We used to take like cross country trips. We used to go to like Virginia and DC and Tennessee and shit like that. We took that everywhere. That was a good van.
I took that Aerostar. Fuck, we went to.
You take the seats out. You take the seats out in the middle. You take the seats out in the middle on yours.
Oh yeah, well I would do different configurations sometimes. Like sometimes we'd road trip it where I would take the middle seat out and we just have the back seat and then place to sit down in the middle. Sometimes I would take the back seat out and we'd have that seat there and the extra room in the back. Sometimes I'd take both seats out and we just have a party in there. We'd do all kinds of configurations. That was legit back then, man. I like that shit. That car was I kind of miss it now actually.
What kind of music?
We'll get down there here. My plans back then. Man, I'm not going to lie. Back then, I don't think I really even had plans. I mean, I knew I was going to join the Guard, which I did. But, I mean, I failed so many weight tests. It's kind of like I just got talked into going into the Guard instead of, actually joining it for the right purposes. And I just ended up staying.
Did you go right out of high school?
Yeah, I actually enlisted May 9th, 95 while I was still technically in high school. And I had to get a statement of can't remember what the fuck it was called, but basically something from the guidance counselor that said, if I did everything according to plan, I would graduate high school. And that time actually counted. Like my last couple days in high school or last 3 weeks in high school counted towards military time. So I was kind of double dipping. It's kind of sweet. And then I didn't know what the fuck I was going to. To be honest, I still don't know what I do. I mean, I know what I do, but I don't know what I want to do. I mean, it's like, do I want to stay, processing claims the rest of my life? Who knows? I mean, it's fun, but I mean, I like to do Wayne's World for a living someday. I mean, do the STD podcast for a living someday. Yeah, thanks for everybody who didn't show up tonight and make this fucking difficult. Ruin my show prep, you assholes.
Hey, okay.
Back and I can't do anything, Dennis, and Mr. Don not doing anything. Pat, you're the true fucking hero tonight. All right? I love you, buddy.
I love you too, bud. I love you too. Did you call out Tom? Did you call out Tom?
Yeah, I called out Tom and his bad knees. All right.
Okay, what music were you into back then?
All right, back in 95 was my senior. So, like, up until high school, I liked, metal and hair metal and all that, Nirvana. And then, 91, 92, everything dropped off the face of the earth, and the West and East Coast rap thing started popping with Dre and all that. So, for sophomore year on was pretty much a lot of rap and all that stuff. By the time I was a senior, I still like some of the metal, like Soundgarden was good, and like you said, Pumpkins was just coming out, shit like that. But man, by the time freshman or the summer before senior year, it was all Bone Thugs all the time. Because June of '94, Thuggish Ruggish dropped, and then that EP, Creeping on the Come Up, dropped out later that summer, and that's all we played the entire year. The first pep rally was like East 1999 is where you find me singing me. Yeah, man. Everybody listened. That's all we listened to. So it was pretty much all Bone Thugs and fucking Tupac all the time, man.
94 was when two of the greatest hip hop albums of all time came out. The two debut albums. Do you know what they are?
What, Bone and? I don't know. Who do you consider the two greatest in '94?
So two monumental albums that dropped that year, two hip hop albums, both debut albums. Ready to Die by the Notorious B.I.G.
That wasn't a debut album.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Kim said rat puking. But
And the other one was Illmatic by Nas.
Nas is serviceable, but Biggie's first tape was fucking the one with Big Papa. That was 91 or 92.
I like it when they call me Big Pop. That was from Ready to Die, 1994. I'm telling
thought that was
you,
Life
their
Death.
debut. Huh?
Yeah. Well, regardless. All right, we dropped on the 3 viewers. Welcome to our 3 viewers who are still out there. RJ. Hey, Murph is back. What's up, buddy? So we got Murph, Kim, and RJ in the house. Kerms wasn't listening, so Kerms, you ain't shit. All right, my favorite class back then was man, what was my favorite class senior? I'll tell you what, senior year, I really liked accounting because we really didn't do shit. I mean,
Did you say the counting or a counting?
Accounting. Okay. We had manager.
I think you said I really like the counting. You know, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6.
I was in the special
counting.
I was in the special trailer with Hernan Cortez.
I thought they use a calculator.
But
not that high.
Well, we had what was called mods. So like after we had four periods in the morning, mods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was homeroom, then 6, 7, 8, 9 were all at the East Side campus. And I would come over and mod 10 was lunch, and I had 3 over on the West Side campus after lunch, which was I think senior year I had like what was right after lunch. But I had like Kerms is back in the house. What's up, buddy? We love you, man. I was just teasing, man. I was just teasing. I know your knees are real sore today from pounding that tile. I mean, honestly, I probably should be doing the same work you're doing with that, but I was trying to do show prep, but it happens. But yeah, so I had like study hall and then 13, 14. Then the last period of the day was like, oh, it was government. That's what it was. So I get back from the East Side campus. I had government, then study hall, and then accounting to close out the day. It was so easy senior year. So easy. And then half the time I was fucking drunk anyway, so it didn't really even matter. I don't like that stuff. And my favorite teacher, man, I liked a lot of those teachers. The accounting teacher was Mr. Badar. He was fun. And I had Mr. Kilberg. He was cool. Mr. Fairzold. I'm friends with a couple of them on Facebook. But
Mrs. Hurst was my favorite teacher. She's my junior English teacher. That's what made English like my favorite subject was mainly her. She's probably not listening, but if you are, Mrs. Hurst, you're cool.
Maybe she'll listen to the replay. You never know. Maybe she liked the AOL guy. Who knows? But I had a couple teachers. I wonder what happened to me. If more people were listening from high school, they could chime in. But man, Mr. Lancaster, I used to sleep in his class all the time. It was pretty fun. I used to get away with so much shit, man, because either they were afraid of me or they just didn't care. But I started a whole lifelong thing of just getting away with shit and manipulation. Man, I just got away with everything, dude. I just didn't do shit. And how the fuck would, like the shit I did in high school, man, if kids nowadays did that shit, bro, they would be fucking in jail. They would be kicked out. I mean, dude, I used to drink beer and in the parking lot. I mean, just fuck, dude. It's ridiculous. All right, now 90s, for me,
focus 90s.
All right, for me now, for high school, was the best period of my life or not? And then I didn't say fuck no. I mean, there was many days in high school I just rolled around and I was trying to find my way. You know what I mean? A little awkward, like you probably. And I didn't. I mean, I like some of the aspects of high school, like some of the fun things, the parties and shit like that. But I mean, bottom line, I'm having way more fun now. And I think some of the more. Go ahead.
I was going to say I was very surprised to know that your favorite social activity you never even did in high school. Is that correct?
I didn't. That's correct. I mean, I did a couple times way before I listed. But yeah, I didn't start smoking until I was well out the service. Probably right after I retired. And then I fucking just went crazy with it. There's a couple times I did back then, but yeah, if I did the shit now I did back then, I'd be probably dead in terms of the weed and all that, man. But my favorite movie from 99, we're 95 movies. God, what would be a good 95 movie? I don't even remember movies.
Braveheart, Usual Suspects.
What is 90? Let me check out some 1995 movies real quick.
Babe, the Talking Pig.
Did you know that after the movie Babe was over, they barbecued and ate the pig?
Probably.
The cast did? I just heard that's a rumor. I don't know if that's true or not. 1995 movies. All right, let's go check this out real quick. Toy Story, Jumanji. Oh, Clueless was a good one.
Toy Story. I never saw that, actually.
You never saw Clueless with...
I never did.
With Alicia Silverstone?
Yeah, no, I never did.
There's Heat. I kept falling asleep during the Heat. Mortal Kombat. Waterworld was awesome. Do you remember Waterworld?
Waterworld sucks. Did you just say you fell asleep during Heat?
Yeah. It's a long movie.
How the hell could you do that, man? That was a great movie.
Probably drunk. I don't know.
Go back and watch it.
Goldeneye, Babe, Tommy Boy was good.
Tommy Boy, that guy.
Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Kimmerl, you can't find your home way probably because you're drunk. That's true, and I probably did get lost a couple times. Now, out of Tommy Boy and Billy Madison, those are pretty two good movies. Okay, what would you say is your favorite movie from '95 out of those two movies, Tommy Boy and Billy Madison, and why?
Oh, Tommy Boy for sure.
Over Billy Madison, you would say, right?
What did you say? Why? And
why would you pick that over Billy Madison? I would say Billy Madison's better time.
Because Chris Farley, man. Chris Farley made that movie.
Now, do you think Chris Farley got good? Are you doing dishes? Good for you. Do you think Chris Farley got all the things he did because he was, just the way he died? But I mean, if you look back, Chris Farley did have some good roles. But man, watch some of the interviews with Jay Leno and Chris Farley, and just watch. It's kind of sad. You just look at his face; you could tell.
That was right before. That was right before he died. That one where he's just blazed out of his mind, drunk out of his mind, whatever he's doing. And that was like 96, 97. And he died like a couple weeks after that.
He died the day before Titanic came out in the theater. You know that? December 19th.
Yeah, I was a junior in high school, and I remember I was like 16 years old, and I just remember being, broken up about that because back then that was he was my childhood hero, Chris Farley. I love that guy.
Chris Farley, where would you rank him on your top comedians list of all time? I mean, would you say he's up there? I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. He's definitely up there. I don't really have a list because he was never a stand-up. I have more of a list with stand-ups, but he's definitely up there as one of the top guys who constantly made me laugh. But Adam Sandler, going with Adam Sandler, there was a time where I thought Adam Sandler was hilarious too. Like Billy Madison and what's the Happy Gilmore, his first two movies.
I think Happy Gilmore is one of the funniest movies of all time. That is a fucking awesome movie.
Those first two movies, they're pretty good, but then after, and Waterboy was okay, I guess, but after that though, he could just it was a shit show after shit show, and then I just remember being like 12, 13 years old, I thought he was the funniest dude. And then I grew up and I'm like, he's doing the same old thing. And you're like, why did I ever think he was funny?
I would kind of actually agree with you on that. I would disagree with you on Waterboy. I thought Waterboy was absolutely fucking horrible in hindsight.
Yeah.
Watch that movie and fucking just, my mama, it's fucking horrible. That's just not a good movie. I mean,
like I watched Billy Madison like years later. And I still thought it was pretty good, actually. But then Billy
Madison and Happy Gilmore especially holds its weight. But I think, but those early movies do. But he just got so. What he did was he took the fart and poop jokes so far that people just didn't care, and it got bad. I mean, some of those Little Nicky. What was up with that? That movie sucked.
Oh, that movie sucked. Oh yeah, all those movies sucked after that. But yeah, Billy Madison has some good like Norm Macdonald's in it. Chris Farley's also in it too. He's like he was the bus driver. He was like drunk all the time.
Veronica Vaughn is one fine piece of ace.
And then
from personal experience.
And then Steve Buscemi. Remember Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison, where he's calling all the people he was mean to in high school, and Steve Buscemi was one of them. And huh?
Is that the one who had lazy eyes?
I don't know if he had lazy eyes, but he called Steve Buscemi was one of the kids that Billy Madison was mean in high school, so he called him up to apologize.
Oh, that's right. He was getting ready to shoot him, and he's like, "Okay, guy."
Yeah, he had a picture of all the people he wanted to kill, and then he crossed them up, and then he puts on some lipstick, and he's listening to ELO, and he's just like, he just puts his lipstick on. See what he's crazy. I like that guy.
He in some of those Adam Sandler movies, he was single-handedly he saved it you remember that one where they went to? I can't remember the title of the movie to save my ass, but they were Adam Sandler went on a plane to his old town in New Hampshire, and he visited all his people, and he saved some chick in a drowning pool in the frozen lake. And do you remember that movie?
No.
With Adam Sandler and he was. God damn it! Hold on, I got it. Adam Sandler movie, New Hampshire.
Yeah, we always had the same people in his movies, like Steve Buscemi, Rob Schneider, John Turturro. They were always in his movies.
Uncut Gems. That's not it.
Uncut Gems just came out.
I never even heard of that one. What was the one where he was in? Fucking. I've seen the movies. As soon as I see it, I'll know it in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
First Date, Splendid. The Wedding Singer was a great one too. Adam
Yeah,
that was love that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That's one of my favorite. That soundtrack is just so awesome.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Took place in the 80s.
Was it Mr. Deeds? Was that the one I'm thinking of? Where he went to New Hampshire, right?
I don't know. I never saw that one.
Let me read this fucking synopsis. Steve Buscemi. Yes. Yeah, that was it. Steve Buscemi was Crazy Eyes. And do you remember that when he's like, okay, and then he's like, I gotcha, and then he would like say something. He was in charge of that shop. You got to watch this movie, Mr. Deeds. That's actually a pretty good movie.
That's actually a remake of a 1930s movie called Mr. Deeds Goes to Town.
Nice.
Fun facts.
I've got some comments here. It says Waterworld got such bad reviews. Now, have you seen Waterworld, Pat?
Yeah, it was a terrible movie.
The plot was a little bad. I will say that, but now the cinematography on that movie and they didn't use no special effects, and the budget and the griminess and the brown and the destitutedness. I fucking love that dystopian vision.
I love dystopian movies. I love dystopian movies like Mad Max, the Mad Max movies. Those are fantastic movies. You ever see those?
Oh yeah. And then I Am Legend and shit like that. But I think that fucking, I mean, just me personally, like the obviously Waterworld and some of the lines were just so bad. You know, I'll breathe for the both of us and shit.
Yeah,
like that.
I didn't get into it. I thought it was a terrible movie, which historically
I just thought the whole. Just the background. There was just so much of that movie that I just adored.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was also the fact that it was so bad, considered so bad. And I kind of like some of Costner's movies. It's just like I like Waterworld, man.
You know what I like about those dystopian movies? Like there's like multiple villains. You know, because it's like the Wild Wild West, and like Dennis Hopper was like the main villain, and there's like some henchmen and whatnot.
It was so awesome, man. They're driving around.
I love when Dennis Hopper plays a bad guy, like Speed, another 90s classic.
Speed is probably the most 90s movie of all time, if you think about it. It's got Keanu Reeves, it's got Sandra Bullock, Dennis Hopper. Can you get more 90s than those three guys? I mean, come on.
Can. The ultimate 90s movie, man. Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction was a great movie, man.
It was a fantastic movie.
That's a good question too. The ultimate night. I mean, because like people would say like the 80s, the ultimate 80s movie would be like 16 Candles or fucking Breakfast Club, something like that. The movie that captures, and actually now that I think about it, the movie for me that captures the essence of the 90s the most has got to be Fight Club, for the simple fact that if you look at all the excess 90s consumerism and everything else, it's perfectly synopsized in that. End scene where just all the banks get blown up. We all start brand new with no debt. You know what I mean?
And another one for me is that captures the essence of '90s is Clerks. You ever see that?
Oh yes, Clerks is a phenomenal movie.
That captures the slacker stoner type. That was the epitome of the young adult of the '90s.
Now, what other? Now you're talking about Clerks. What other Kevin Smith movies have you seen?
Have
you seen Mallrats?
I've seen Mallrats. I've seen where Chris Rock's what's that movie where Dogma, where Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are angels.
I tell you what, man, I Dogma wasn't in any movie. I loved Dogma. I thought that movie should have got a lot more pub than it did, a lot more press than it did. I think why he didn't, because it talked about the church in different ways, and people don't like that. You get all butt hurts when they talk about the church. But I tell you what, man, Dogma was a really underrated movie. I mean, Ben Affleck was great in that movie. Alanis Morissette as guy, Chris Rock. I mean, I thought George Carlin, obviously, that was one of his last movies, I think.
Yeah.
I think
you know, a movie for some reason captures the essence of the 90s for me was Point Break. Johnny Utah with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze.
On this here.
Keanu Reeves is an undercover cop in Los Angeles, and he's looking for there's a string of bank robbers that wear masks, different U.S. presidents called the ex-presidents, and Gary Busey.
I do remember that.
So he goes. Basically, he goes undercover. He goes undercover because he believes, or his partner's Gary Busey. You know Gary Busey.
Oh yeah.
Gary Busey is awesome. So Gary Busey believes that that the bank robbers are surfers. So Keanu Reeves goes undercover as a surfer to find out, if a group of surfers is behind this, and he befriends Patrick Swayze, who his name is like the ultimate 90s name, hippie name, Bodie is his name in the movie. And he befriends him. He's like the greatest surfer, champion surfer. Well, it turns out that Bodie and his friends are the group, and his gang of friends are the infamous ex-presidents.
Hernan Cortez, you know Hernan. He always wanted to.
Oh, I know Hernan.
He had this, based on this movie, this is one thing he always wanted to do. I don't want to. Well, I guess we can ruin it because we're probably never going to do it. But he wanted to rob banks just like they did in that movie, with me and him and a couple other guys. But we wanted to wear first lady masks. So like, he'd be Lady Bird Johnson, somebody else would be Nancy Reagan, Linda Carter, etc.
So you do know the movie?
Yeah, I know the movie. It's just been forever since I remember the plot. I haven't seen Point Break in fucking 30 years, 20 years, man, at least. You gotta watch
Check it out, man. I think it's better. Yeah, check it out, man. It's a great movie.
Now, I was just thinking of somebody who was quintessentially 90. Now, who would you say is the most 90s singer of all time?
The 90s singer?
Or I guess of all time of the 90s. I would say Alanis Morissette is probably the quintessential
Kurt Cobain.
Oh, yeah. And Nirvana and fucking Alanis pretty much encapsulate the entire 90s. I mean,
oh, yeah.
That mid-90s, from the period when Cobain went off the air and died, right around 92, 93, when Soundgarden kind of faded out, up until about Limp Bizkit came out, that was a kind of a dead period for music, no?
It was, yeah, it definitely was.
I mean, if you didn't like rap back then, you weren't really getting any new shit. I mean, you had some alternative,
because like Pearl Jam was starting. Pearl Jam was somewhat relevant. Like all those bands, all those other grunge bands, like Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, they were still around making stuff. But that grunge era was starting to, after Kurt Cobain died, that pretty much, like Smashing Pumpkins released Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. That double LP from '95 had like 1979, and
that's one of my favorite fucking CDs.
Despite all my rage, I'm still just a red in the case. So that was like the last. That was like the last great like grunge album, And then after that, like the latter half of the '90s, kind of went a different way.
Yeah,
you started to go a different way. Started to get a little poppy, like that's around the time like Backstreet Boys and then coming out and Britney Spears. So pop music started to go, but that mid part of the '90s, that was music gold in my opinion.
If you're being honest, any year you look deep enough, there's going to be a couple good songs at least. I mean,
I think it's opinionated. It's a matter of
it's like different genres and over time and shit like that. It is what it is.
Honestly, I don't really listen to any new music. I couldn't tell you what's out now.
I mean, I listen to some just because I like some of the artists. I mean, Eminem still drops a lot of new shit. MGK does.
I do like Kendrick Lamar. I must say, Kendrick Lamar.
And we got some questions here. It says your thoughts on the Spice Girls and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'll tell you what, the Spice Girls, I thought they got a probably worse rap than I think they should have. I mean, they weren't the worst in the world. I mean, they did their little cheesy pop thing. But
That's some pretty catchy. If you want to be tell me what you want, what you really want. It's pretty catchy. The music's really catchy.
Tell me what you want, what you really want.
Like an earworm. It's like an earworm type, situation going on.
There was this movie that they came out with back then, because in '97 was the Spice Girls came out, and everything was Spice Girls. They had a movie called Spice World.
Spice World, yeah.
And I actually was going out with the girl this time. We went in the theater and saw this movie, and the movie wasn't. There was one part in the movie that was fucking awesome. It's hilarious. The Spice Girls are talking to these aliens, right? For some reason, these aliens come down and they're talking to Spice Girls about what's going on Earth. Standing there with the Spice Girls and goes, ha, and just squeezes fucking the black one. I think it's Sporty Spice's titty right there. The fucking I just died.
Oh, Scary Spice is the black one.
Yeah. See, that was easily the fucking best part of the movie for me. I just loved that. That made the whole movie. That was so fucking awesome.
What was the other? What was the? Was it Buffy the Vampire?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I've never seen that show. Have you seen that show? I've never seen that show.
I've watched
seen the movie.
Episodes. I dated another girl who was a really big fan of that back then. But Sarah Michelle Gellar was. Oh, that might be the most. Sarah Michelle. Oh, there's a good one. Sarah Michelle Gellar or Jennifer Love Hewitt. Who's your favorite out of those two?
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Like, is that because of Bad Thing? What was that movie where she made out with that girl? What was that?
Oh, that was Dangerous.
Dangerous. Not
Dangerous Minds?
No, that was the Michelle Pfeiffer movie.
That was Michelle Pfeiffer. Shit, what was that called?
Dangerous Liaisons? No, that was a different one too.
Something Dangerous Mind. It wasn't Dangerous. I already said Dangerous Mind. Dangerous something. I have to look it up. Damn, I don't know. I've never seen that movie, but it's based on a Shakespearean tragedy. I know what you're talking about, though.
She's still alive. Wild Things was great. That was with.
Wild Things was with Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell and Denise Richards.
Oh, Denise Richards, and they made out in front of.
Yeah, dude, that was who was that fucking? There was a guidance counselor telling
Matt Damon and Kevin Bacon.
And it was like, no, you two kiss. That was the ultimate fucking thing in there. A guidance counselor senior year got two senior chicks, and he has a threesome with them. That was fucking awesome, man. That was a great movie. I forgot about Wild Things. Yeah, do you remember the game of like Wild Things 2, 3, and 4? They were like direct to DVD.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was totally crap. Oh, Wild Things 4. I gotta remember the name of that. Sarah Michelle
Gellar. Yeah,
Gellar kiss movie. What the fuck?
Type in Sarah Michelle Gellar and Selma Blair.
Cruel Intentions.
There we go.
That was it. That was awesome. Now, do you remember I think it was called Not Another Teen Movie. It was like the spoof of all those movies.
and I know what you're gonna say. And someone kissed an old woman.
Yeah, they showed that. Or now you gotta kiss the old woman.
Who was that? Who was it that kissed? Was that Jamie McCarthy? Who did that?
It was the one that was supposed to look like Sarah Michelle Gellar. I can't remember who it was, but then when they showed him close up, and then the fucking the spit from the mouth was coming back.
Yeah, it was someone really famous making out with an old woman.
I know. I cannot remember. There was Not Another Teen Movie. Not Another TeenMovie kissing.
I remember that movie.
That movie actually wasn't that funny, but that scene was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta see who that was in there.
Oh, another good quintessential movie, in my opinion, from the 90s, Scream.
Scream got
that was a personal favorite of mine.
Scream was good, and then I don't know, the plot just kind of got real whatever. And I
like the plot. I liked it.
The thing I didn't like about Scream, it pissed me off, is that they didn't show no titties, and I didn't really like that. If you're gonna fucking show me a rated R horror movie, show me some fucking titties. And Emily was talking about fucking. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Jennifer Love Hewitt is fucking beautiful. Okay, she's got a nice rack. She needed to expose them things. Back in the 80s, that's the difference between 80s fucking porn and 90s porn. I mean, 80s horror and 90s horror is that back in the 80s, you would see the titties. They would show that they get a rated R, you see a set of titties in the shower. 90s, they didn't do that shit. It totally killed the genre. Totally killed the genre.
We can't talk about 90s movies without talking about the ultimate 90s movie, one of the ultimate 90s movies, Goodfellas, even though it didn't take place in the 90s.
True. Goodfellas was good. Well, I mean, if we talk about the ultimate 90s movie, the fucking inspiration for this show was Wayne's World. I mean, Wayne's World was fucking totally.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, it's the only reason we're here. Well, all right, we're coming up here on the end of the show. It is almost time to go. Hold on, I got to bring up the thing here. 1 second. Like to thank all the special guests. Hold on, let me get back to the show here.
What special guests?
Sure, go back to the thing. The executive producer of the STD podcast is Joel Varell. Pop culture guru is Pat Bulger. Assistant to Mr. Varell is Don Shear. Makeup entertainment, Julie Rankars. No thanks to Anthony Mayo, Dennis Watson. Did not show up today. Lighting is by the Illuminating Company. Intro is by me, Joey Edibles. Copyright 2020, Varell Entertainment Corporation, all rights reserved. Join us this and every Friday for the STD podcast. Next week, hopefully the other idiot members of the show will be back. We love you guys. Thanks for coming out, man. Pat, love you, man. Thanks for showing up, buddy. And give us a tagline and send us home, man.
And remember, every Friday night from 9:30 to 11, we invite you to
Get infected.
not the other thing, get infected.
Get infected with
our
us,
show.
not the virus. Yeah, stay virus free so we can entertain you every week. And please, please, motherfuckers, like the show, but subscribe. Tell people to subscribe. I've had no subscribers, maybe like 5 new subscribers in the past month and a half. The more subscribers you get, the better the show gets because the more we get out there.
And we're gonna try to branch out. We're gonna try to hopefully interview some more people. I'm
gonna get some contests going. The new studio debuts in 2 weeks, so get ready for that, guys. And we love you. We'll see you next week. Have a happy Memorial Day, everybody.
All right, peace out, everybody.
And